Hi, I'm Lori Betts. Welcome to Golden Years. This month we are at Buckeye Library. So come on back and we are going to tell you what's new in their world.
I want to thank everyone for making this day so special. Dad, you've been my inspiration. I love you.
I love you too.
And Mom, I miss you so much.
Type 2 diabetes steals the lives we cherish most, but it can be prevented. Know your risk before it's too late. Stop diabetes. Learn how at checkupamerica.org or talk to your doctor.
Ho, ho, ho! Come and land your sleigh at GTB Medical in Brunswick and get into the holiday spirit. This free Christmas wonderland will be on display the entire month of December, and everyone is invited to join in the fun. You will be amazed at the expansive collection of animated holiday items to view and enjoy. GTB Medical is located at 366 Pearl Road in Brunswick and is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So gather up the entire family and stop by for some true holiday cheer. And I'll see you real soon.
Welcome back. We are at Buckeye Library, and my guest this month is Ann Plasick and Kim Lucas. So they are going to tell us everything that's happening in this unique building. So thank you, girls, for letting us come into your home and telling us all about your location.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, we're glad to be here, and especially promoting our outreach services that we provide.
And this is the best kept secret about outreach services. Do you want to start there and tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We provide outreach services to members in their homes and in facilities all throughout the county. Basically all of Medina County except for the Wadsworth area, because they are serviced by the Wadsworth Public Library. But we can deliver materials to people in their homes and on a monthly basis and provide whatever it is that they are interested in.
Okay, you said member. So does that person have to sign up?
Anybody who lives within the Medina County area can have a Medina County Public Library card, which provides services to them. The cards are free. You just have to come into the library to get a card, needing ID in order to get your card. But for members that can't come into the library that are interested in outreach services, we can set them up with a card as well.
So you're taking them books. What else can you take into their homes?
Just about everything. I have members who get books on CD, large print books, DVDs, playaways. Trying to think what else. Music CDs, magazines. Just about anything we have here, they can get delivered. A lot of people stick strictly to books. I have some people that just get DVDs. I have one gentleman who gets 18 DVDs every month. I have other people that just get books, and because it is only once a month, 18 sounds like a lot, but it's not that much if it's for 4 weeks, you know, because they get the delivery, and then when our clerks come back or the bookmates come back, they pick up last month's, and then they get their fresh ones.
So how do they order?
Many of them send me lists every month, or they'll send a note, or they'll tell the clerk, oh, I want this book, or I'd like this DVD. But a lot of them I just order for. A big part of my job is reader's advisory. Generally, when people sign up, they fill out a interest inventory, and that lists the type of books and movies they like and what format they want. You know, do they like romantic comedies? Do they like romance? Do they like mysteries? Do they like cozy mysteries? Do they like suspense thrillers? And do they want it on large print, books on CD, or regular print? How many do they want a month? What kind of authors they like? So starting from that, if people like a certain author, a lot of times I can think of other authors they may not be aware of, And so I'll slip them in, and then they try it. So there's a lot of readers advisory, because there's a lot of people who, they know what kind of book they like, but they don't know how to find it. There's a lot of people that come in the library like that too, and that's part of our job, is helping them find a book they'll enjoy reading.
So when they call up and if they have a question about a certain book they want, do they call you personally, or?
Anyway, I have one girl who calls me every week on Friday and gives me a list of books that she wants. I have other people who call me occasionally when they come across a book, especially if they find it in the book page, which we send them every month. I think we probably have a copy of that to show you later. I have some who send a note every month, or just when they think of something. I have some who tell our clerks, oh, I want this, or they might tell their bookmate. The clerk or the bookmate will write a note, and then it all comes to us. My name is Kim. There's another Kim who does this same type of job, Kim Vondervellen, and so the note or the phone call will come to either one of us, and then we take care of it. And one of us is generally here most days. We both work part-time, and so if I'm not here and one of my people call and she's here, she'll take the message, or else she'll just go ahead and put the book on request for them.
So it's a nice personal touch.
Yeah, it is. A lot of people, I think they really enjoy it. They like having the clerks come and being able to talk books, even if it's only for a few minutes. That kind of leads in a little bit to our bookmate program too, because we do have a bookmate volunteer program where people can volunteer to deliver books. If we have members who want to visit a little bit more, sometimes we can match them up with a bookmate, and that bookmate will go and not only deliver the books, but stay and talk for a little bit.
Oh, that's nice.
Kim is in charge of that, and Ann might be able to talk a little more. I don't know.
That's an area we're always looking for new volunteers. So if there's anybody out there who's just looking for some way to get involved, the library is always interested in taking in new volunteers of all sorts. But if you're interested specifically in visiting with a member in their home and talking about books and other things and just providing a little bit of companionship, our bookmate volunteer program is an opportunity. And to do that, they would just come into the library and indicate that's what they're interested in at the reference desk and fill out a volunteer profile. We do background checks on all of our volunteers. And then Kim Vondervellen is Kim's kind of cohort in the department who works specifically with the volunteers and pairs them up with a member in their home geographically. Then Kim Vondervellen would be the one that would select the materials for that member in their home. The bookmate volunteer would pick up those materials and take them to the member's home.
Okay, then as well as Brunswick, if it was a Brunswick.
Seville, Highland, Lodi, any of them.
Wonderful.
Yes, but our background, we do the background check on all of the volunteers, and then Kim, in her pairing them up geographically, in that process, she goes to the home of the member who's going to be receiving the services with that person that first time in order to make sure that it's a good match. But there have been a lot of good friendships that have formed.
Oh, I bet. And sometimes that person's the only one that senior gets to see.
Exactly.
If they don't do Meals on Wheels and they're not with the outside world, I'm sure they welcome
Right.
the
and
books.
a lot of those bookmates are actually staff members that have seen how much benefit there is for members that are in their home. So we have a lot
Definitely.
of staff members that do that delivery
And
as well, and
family members of the
members.
outreach member.
yeah, there may be somebody who doesn't feel comfortable pulling books for their mother. They're not real sure what their mother wants, and so they want the librarian to pull the materials. But then the daughter or son or whoever, it could be a cousin, whoever, can be the one that delivers
Oh,
them.
that's
I'm my mother's
awesome.
bookmate.
Yes.
Gives me an excuse to talk books with her.
Really? That's great.
Not that we need one, but it kind of gives it a little bit more of like a format or a structure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have all kinds of volunteering opportunities at the library, so look at our website for other volunteering opportunities. But this program has been around for a very long time and is well recognized as being a great
Wonderful.
volunteer program.
Okay, what if the senior, you're going to their home and they have a hard time reading? So do you have, I know a lot of people come to my store and they look for magnifiers. So does the library offer any magnifiers? If the books
We
aren't
do,
large font?
actually. We offer, well, first of all, we also have large print. A lot of people move from regular print to large print, then maybe to books on CD, and sometimes eventually to the Library for the Blind. But we do have magnifiers. In fact, I had one of my members call up recently, and she needs large print, but the books that she likes to read aren't as available in large print, because large print, although they're producing more and more, it does tend to be a little bit more bigger authors, you know, more common interests, and her interests are a little bit more esoteric. So, you know, the books that I can find in large print I get for her, but her interests, it's difficult. So she called up and said, you know, do we have magnifiers? And we do. We offer a magnifier kit that you can borrow. It goes out normally, if it's in a library, it goes out for 2 weeks. If it's, you know, with us, it would go out for the full month like anything else we check out. And what it is kind of like, almost like a taste test, you know. There's a bunch of different kinds of magnifiers so that you can try them all out and see which one works for you. And then the information for the Cleveland Sight Center is in there, and that's a place where you can order magnifiers through. So
And I do
it's
send a lot of
it's kind
people
of like
to
a
the
trial
Cleveland
thing.
Sight.
Yeah. And you know, it's nice because if you think about it, you know, if you had to buy a magnifying glass, I mean, how would you know what one to buy and where to get it?
Different
and you know,
magnifications.
yeah, and you know, do you prefer the kind that has a light on, or the one that's a whole sheet, or a bar, or, you know?
There
And
is
everybody
different.
likes things differently. So
Yeah. There's typically 6 different magnifiers in the kit. They were actually part of a grant from the Hands Foundation was how we actually purchased those kits.
Great.
So,
What a wonderful wish. Tell me about your Audible program, Books on Tape.
books on CD.
CD.
Not too many
okay,
books
yes,
on tape anymore.
I'm a little talking in the past.
No, books on CD. We have a lot of patrons that are members that strictly use books on CD because they can no longer read print. And similar to large print, more and more books are being produced on CD. When I first started working in libraries, like too many years ago to mention, there weren't that many books on tape, and a lot of them were condensed, you know, or abridged, you know, and now they're almost all unabridged. And the other good thing is, in probably the last 10 years, there are a lot of them are simultaneously released. When the book comes out in regular print, it also comes out frequently now in large print and book on CD. So there's not that lag time for people. So we do have a large collection of books on CD here at Buckeye, as well as large print, because this is the library we pull from for outreach. So if you specifically like large print or books on CD and you can still get out and about and you can get here, this is a really good place to browse for those items because there are a fair amount of them. And you know, I listen to books on CD. You know, a lot of them are really well done. It's if you drive a lot, or even if you just drive to work, you know, it's a good use of that time. You know, a lot of people
Definitely.
do it.
or when you're cooking dinner in the kitchen or doing cleaning, a lot of people will just listen to books throughout the day, or maybe if you're a jigsaw puzzler, it's something to listen to while you're working
Well,
on a
and there's
puzzle.
also
good
the
idea.
downloadable books, which we get through Overdrive, and that's not so much part of outreach, but that is another thing that's available to any library member. You can download books onto an MP3 player or, you know, an iPod.
Another
Okay.
thing that we can show you too, the new playaways. If nobody's seen a playaway, those are really interesting new pieces of technology in the library. What it is basically an MP3 player that is its own MP3 player. You check it out. The book is this little MP3 player. You plug in your own headphones to it, and you can just put that book in your pocket and turn it on and listen while you're
That's
washing dishes or
amazing.
whatever.
And it's
That
an
is
Ohio
amazing.
company, Cleveland company. I think they're out in Solon. As is Overdrive, actually, who provides most downloadable audio to almost most libraries in the country. They're also a Cleveland company, which is nice. You know, I like to hear that.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we are going to learn about their digital talking book. So come on back.
Thanks to your generosity, Marines have delivered Christmas to children in need since 1947.
Oh, Dad, wait till you see the bike we got for Jake.
Hearing loss happens gradually with age, making it easy to ignore. Yet most older Americans aren't getting their hearing tested. Untreated hearing loss can keep your loved ones from enjoying what they cherish most.
Dad, can you hear me?
Don't let that happen. Speak up about hearing loss. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back. I am interviewing Kim and Ann from Buckeye Library's Outreach Services program. And Mrs. Jones, if you're sitting there watching the show and you would like to know how can I have books delivered to my home or CDs, we are going to recap what the program is all about.
Okay. Well, thanks for asking, Lori. We like to provide materials for everybody throughout the county, and there's so many people that just can't get into the library anymore. And so they deserve to receive those materials as well. So we have about 170 people right now that we are actually going to homes and delivering these.
171. I added one
Yay,
this
we're
morning.
Fantastic.
always
That is
changing, and
awesome.
our goal is to keep growing that number.
And you do go to homes and assisted livings
Facilities.
facilities where,
Yes, we
okay.
do.
Right, and that's done a couple of different ways. The materials can be delivered by our outreach clerks, or they may be provided by the volunteers like we discussed earlier in the program, our bookmate volunteers. But if somebody's interested in the program, they can ask at any of the branches when they're in, or they can simply call our outreach services department. That number will be on the screen later, but it's 330-722-2590. They call here and say that they're interested in outreach material delivery, and we fill out a profile. Basically, we make sure they have a library card first, and if they don't, we can set that up for them. But then they fill out a profile, like as Kim mentioned earlier, all the different types of things that they would be interested in receiving, and we get them set up. Materials are delivered once a month and are checked out for that over that time period. And as I said, they'd be delivered by a clerk or a bookmate.
And you make it sound so easy, Kim, if their interests are like mystery, love stories, you know, fiction, whatever.
I took over this job in February, and it is a real learning experience, but it's a really fun job picking books for people. It can be challenging, but it really is fun, and you get to know a lot of authors. Whether you read them or not, you become familiar with, oh, well, this author's kind of like that author, so if they like this one, they might like that one as well. But as we mentioned earlier, a lot of it hinges on the feedback, you know. So when we get a new person, I always send them a note that says, you know, welcome, and please don't hesitate to tell me if you don't like something or if you do. And because, you know, I don't want people to be polite and think, oh, well, I can't say I didn't like the book she sent me, because if they don't tell me, they're going to keep getting more books just like that, you know. And so I really try and emphasize that, you know, and most people are really good about it. You know, we do hear back, oh, I didn't care for that one. And, you know, we don't take it personally, because fairly often, you know, someone will request something and it turns out they didn't care for something they asked for. I mean, because, you know, how many times everybody picks a book they don't like now and then. The other thing that I wanted to mention with Ann talking about calling up, occasionally we get people who are, oh, someone's neighbor will call for them, or a family member, you know, because sometimes it might be difficult for someone who's homebound, and they may have limitations with their hearing or something. It might be difficult for them to use the phone, and that's fine too. You know, we can go through that as long as we can establish that there is someone who needs our service. We're pretty open to however they, you know, get a hold of us, and we're always happy when we find somebody new who needs our services.
And your phone number goes right to the outreach
Department.
services.
Yes,
Good,
it does.
so it's not going to be frustrating to Mrs. Jones.
Bookmobile and Outreach Services.
Good.
That's how we answer the phone, and all the Bookmobile people are quite familiar with Outreach Services, so they you know, they know what information they need to take and they pass it on. So,
Great, awesome.
yeah.
So you viewers out there, start using that phone number and get your books delivered. Now tell me about the Talking Digital book.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead, demonstrate it.
The Talking Book program is actually a state library program, and this is the new Talking Book machine. There used to be very large, clunky, kind of golden tape players, and things have just changed in this day and age.
Technology.
So this new machine is just absolutely incredible. It can be plugged in, but it has about a 30-hour battery life. And all of the features that are on here are in here in Braille, so you can if you have no sight issue, no vision, you can use this with Braille. All of them are raised, so they're very easy to use. When you touch a button, it actually tells you what it does.
Player on. Press any button to learn about its function. Bookmark. Press the bookmark button to set a bookmark at the current reading position. To return to a bookmarked position, press the menu button until you hear Bookmark Jump. Then use the previous and navigation menu to choose from the types of navigation. Sleep. Pressing the sleep button once will play 15 minutes of the book, and then stop the machine.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
Twice will play the book for 30 minutes.
She could sleep with this in bed with her.
You could.
There's actually pillow speakers that you can get that go in your pillow.
That's phenomenal.
For example, if you chose chapter from the navigation menu, tone down. To lower the tone of the voice by one step, press the tone down button. Power. Battery charge remaining. Less than 1
press it
hour.
one more time.
Battery player
Less
off.
than an hour. We need to charge it.
So anybody who has severe vision issues is eligible to receive this machine free from the state. Anybody who can no longer read regular large print with the aid of regular glasses is who would be qualified. Or if somebody has a learning disability, like dyslexia, they are also eligible for this machine. Or if somebody physically can no longer hold a book or turn pages. Those are the types of people. So this isn't just for anybody out there who thinks this is a really great machine. There are some qualifications for it. But then we are the intermediary. Once somebody is interested, we get them signed up, we deliver the machine and show how to use it. And then after that, the materials come in the mail from Cleveland Public Library in a little mailer that looks like this. And for ease of use, and because so many people are familiar with cassettes, it looks like a cassette still, but it's not a cassette. It's very digital. It has a USB port on it, just like a computer, and you just slide this into the machine very easily. Has a finger hole, so it's easy to grab and pull in and out. And then it's different from the old books on cassette. Members would have had to have taken out a cassette, put in a new cassette. There's a chance that the little tape would get stuck in the machine. This just goes. It will play the whole way through the entire book, and you don't have to change anything. So the people in the nursing homes and facilities are really liking this type of machine because staff isn't having to come in and change things along for people. So this is making
play
it a lot
play
easier.
it, and then do the speed button. That's always fun.
Oh yes. So hit the play button, Lori.
Oh, you have to turn it back
Oh,
on.
I got to turn it back
Yeah,
on.
that helps.
Player on.
So
The
then
piano teacher,
Current position.
May 2nd,
It's
1940.
playing. It is
it
playing.
automatically plays.
Hit speed.
So you can change the speed here, and it will start talking faster.
Oh, wow.
She was
Or
the
if
headmistress
that's way
emeritus
too
of a
fast.
well-regarded primary school in Hochfulam and a renowned expert on Chinese
So you can
porcelain.
listen
Different
at your own
languages?
China hand, who
speed.
had retired to
And you can
be
also
a
change the
cowboy.
tone up and down a little bit. So
She
it's
lived
the
famously in an old house with Alsatians,
higher or lower
chickens,
voice
and a
level.
okay.
Chinese
And the volume.
service, and another English spinster.
How
Her
long
aunt
does the
Martha,
senior
Miss Winkle.
allowed
They
to have
sometimes
this?
came for lunch
Oh,
at
that's
the
a very
ladies'
interesting
recreation
question. If you want to
club,
hit
where Claire had seen
power,
Pauline
we'll
Court
stop
among the other
there.
expatriates.
Or stop here, actually.
And
There, we'll just hit stop. So materials, because they come through the mail, they like to say that there's really not a lending period. If you've had something out for a really long time, you will get a thing in the mail from the state. But basically, things don't have a return date. As soon as they're done with one, they put it in the mail, another one will come.
Awesome. That's
And it's
great.
easy. The mail thing is easy
Yes, it
also because you
comes-
just
it
flip the card.
flips over, so
They don't
when it
have to
comes,
pay
all they
for
have
for
to
the
do is-
mail. It's you know, they just drop it in a box and
It's
it
a
goes.
government program, so there is no cost.
That is terrific.
So if somebody's eligible for this, we would come out, bring them the machine, demonstrate it for them, but then after that, the library kind of steps out of the picture, and things just come through Cleveland Public Library.
Unless they want supplemented by DVDs
Right.
or music, because some people will do that for their books, but then they'll use us for their DVDs and music and things like that.
Technology is just amazing, amazing. Well, thanks for sharing that with my viewers. Well, thank you for allowing us to come into your home today and letting the shut-ins know that there are books for them, and they could have people come to the house once a month, or less or more, or
Bring it once a month, and
once a month.
and we bring them almost as many or as few as they like. They could, people can have a maximum of 50 items checked out. So that is
That's a
pretty
lot.
much the limit. Yeah. But
That's a busy reader.
yeah. Oh yeah. And we do have some who read that much.
Which is great, and that's good. And I like the tools that are there for magnification if they can't read, if they have a hard time reading.
Yep.
Because as we change, as we grow older, our body changes, our eyes change.
That's true.
So that's great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for watching Golden Years, and we will see you next month.
Excuse me. Excuse me, are you Santa Claus? I heard you might be him. If you are him, here's my list.
Help the Marines make Christmas possible for less fortunate children. Donate a new toy to Toys for Tots.
Here's Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho! Come and land your sleigh at GTB Medical in Brunswick and get into the holiday spirit. This free Christmas wonderland will be on display the entire month of December, and everyone is invited to join in the fun. You will be amazed at the expansive collection of animated holiday items to view and enjoy. GTB Medical is located at 366 Pearl Road in Brunswick and is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So gather up the entire family and stop by for some true holiday cheer. And I'll see you real soon.